In the small, sun-drenched town of Willow Creek, nestled between rolling hills and vast fields of wildflowers, lived a woman named Alara. At 45, she was a figure of quiet strength and grace, her presence a blend of warmth and mystery. Alara had inherited a unique gift from her ancestors, a lineage that traced back to revered shamans who had walked the earth with one foot in the realm of the living and the other in the spirit world. This connection had granted her the ability to perceive spirits, communicate with them, and heal the ailing, all while being guided by her benevolent spiritual guardians. Alara's life had been a tapestry woven with threads of joy and sorrow, each experience deepening her understanding of the human condition. Her gift manifested in many ways, but the most profound was her intuitive awareness of when her beloved grandfather, Aiden, was nearing the end of his earthly journey. Aiden had been her anchor, a storyteller whose tales of the past filled her heart with nostalgia and wisdom. He had always been a guiding light, and as his health began to decline, Alara felt an unsettling shift in the fabric of their connection. One crisp autumn morning, as the leaves danced to the ground in hues of gold and crimson, Alara awoke with a heaviness in her heart. The air felt charged, and the familiar whispers of her spiritual guardians echoed in her mind. "Prepare yourself, Alara. Aiden's time is near." She closed her eyes, allowing the weight of the message to settle within her. It was a bittersweet revelation, one that filled her with both dread and a sense of purpose. Determined to honor her grandfather's legacy, Alara spent the day by his side. They sat together in his cozy living room, surrounded by the artifacts of a life well lived, photographs, books, and trinkets that spoke of love and adventure. Aiden, though frail, radiated a warmth that enveloped her like a soft blanket. They shared stories, laughter, and moments of silence that spoke volumes. Alara could feel the veil between their worlds thinning, the presence of spirit swirling around them, offering comfort and reassurance. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow through the window, Alara sensed a shift in the atmosphere. She closed her eyes, reaching out with her spirit to connect with Aiden's essence. "Grandfather," she whispered, "are you ready to let go?" In response, she felt a gentle warmth envelop her, a sign that he was at peace with the journey ahead. Tears brimmed in her eyes, but she smiled, knowing that love transcended even the boundaries of life and death. That night, as the stars twinkled in the vast sky, Alara sat beside Aiden's bed, holding his frail hand. The room was filled with an ethereal light, and she could see the spirits of their ancestors gathered around, ready to guide him home. "You are not alone, Aiden," she murmured, her voice steady despite the tremor in her heart. "They are here for you." In that sacred moment, Aiden opened his eyes, a flicker of recognition passing between them. He smiled, a serene expression washing over his face, and with a final breath, he surrendered to the embrace of the spirit world. In the days that followed, Alara found solace in her gift. She began to receive messages from Aiden, communicating with him in dreams and visions. He would visit her, his spirit vibrant and full of life, sharing wisdom and love that transcended the physical realm. With each encounter, Alara felt a profound connection to her lineage, the shamanic blood coursing through her veins, guiding her in her work. As a medium, Alara dedicated herself to helping others navigate their grief. She held sessions in her home where families gathered, seeking closure and connection with their departed loved ones. With each session, she would close her eyes, allowing the spirits to flow through her, delivering messages of love, forgiveness, and healing. The room would be filled with tears and laughter, as families found solace in knowing that their loved ones were still with them, watching over them from the other side. One evening, a woman named Clara came to Alara, her heart heavy with sorrow. Her son had passed unexpectedly, leaving a void that felt insurmountable. As Alara sat with her, she felt the presence of the young man's spirit, vibrant and full of energy. "He wants you to know he's safe," she relayed, her voice steady. "He's surrounded by love and light. He's not gone, he's transformed." Clara's tears flowed freely, but amidst her sorrow, a flicker of hope ignited within her. Alara watched as the weight of grief began to lift, replaced by a sense of peace. Alara's abilities extended beyond communication. She also possessed a gift for healing. With the guidance of her spiritual guardians, she learned to channel energy, offering comfort to those who were physically or emotionally unwell. People from all walks of life sought her out, drawn by the whispers of her talents. They came to her for solace, for clarity, and for the healing touch that seemed to emanate from her very being. One day, a young girl named Mia arrived at Alara's doorstep, her eyes wide with fear and uncertainty. Mia had been suffering from debilitating migraines that left her unable to attend school or play with her friends. Her mother, desperate for relief, had heard of Alara's gifts and brought her to see the woman who spoke with spirits. As Alara welcomed them into her home, she sensed the heaviness in Mia's aura. The child was not just physically unwell. She carried the weight of emotions that were too big for her young heart to bear. Alara knelt down to Mia's level, her voice gentle and soothing. "You are safe here, sweet girl. Let's see what we can do together." Alara guided Mia through a series of breathing exercises, encouraging her to release the tension that had built up in her body. As they breathed together, Alara closed her eyes, reaching out to the spirit world for guidance. She felt the presence of Mia's ancestors, their love wrapping around the girl like a protective shield. "Can you see them, Mia?" Alara asked softly. The girl nodded, her eyes widening as she began to perceive the shimmering figures around her. "They want you to know that you are never alone. They are here, watching over you, and they love you very much." With that, Alara placed her hands gently on Mia's shoulders, channeling healing energy into her. The room filled with a warm golden light, and Mia's breathing began to steady. Alara could feel the tension in the girl's body gradually dissipating, replaced by a sense of calm and safety. After the session, Mia's migraines began to lessen, and with each visit she grew stronger, both physically and emotionally. Alara watched as the girl transformed from a shadow of her former self into a vibrant spirit, full of laughter and joy. The healing was not just in the physical realm, it was a reclamation of Mia's spirit, a reminder of the light that resided within her. As the seasons changed, Alara's reputation as a healer and medium continued to grow. People traveled from distant towns, seeking her wisdom and guidance. Yet, amidst the flurry of activity, she remained grounded, always returning to the lessons imparted by her grandfather. Aiden's spirit was her constant companion, guiding her through the complexities of her work and reminding her of the importance of love and compassion. One evening, as Alara prepared for a gathering, she felt a familiar presence in the room. Aiden's spirit shimmered beside her, his eyes twinkling with pride. "You are doing well, my dear," he whispered, his voice a gentle caress in her mind. "Remember to take care of yourself, too." Alara smiled, her heart swelling with gratitude. "I will, grandfather. Your love gives me strength." As she welcomed the families into her home, she felt the energy shift, the air thick with anticipation. Each person carried their own stories of loss, their own burdens of grief. Alara took a deep breath, centering herself in the moment. She opened her heart to the spirits, allowing them to flow through her, ready to deliver messages of love and healing. The evening unfolded like a beautiful tapestry, woven with threads of laughter and tears. Alara watched as families connected with their loved ones, the room filled with the warmth of shared memories and the light of understanding. She felt the spirits guiding her, their whispers echoing in her ears, reminding her of the sacredness of her work. As the last family departed, Alara felt a wave of exhaustion wash over her. She sank into her favorite chair, the weight of the day settling in her bones. But even in her fatigue, she felt a profound sense of fulfillment. She had honored her gift, just as her grandfather had taught her, and in doing so, she had helped others find their way through the darkness. That night, as she drifted into sleep, Alara felt Aiden's presence beside her, a comforting warmth enveloping her. In her dreams, he smiled at her, his spirit radiant and full of love. "You are never alone, my dear," he whispered. "We are always with you." And with that, Alara surrendered to the embrace of sleep, knowing that the whispers of the beyond would always guide her, illuminating the path of healing and connection that lay ahead. As the days turned into weeks, Alara found herself immersed in her work, yet she felt the urge to explore the deeper aspects of her gift. The whispers of her spiritual guardians urged her to delve into her ancestral roots, to understand the shamanic traditions that had been passed down through generations. She sought out the wisdom of the elders in Willow Creek, hoping to uncover the secrets of her lineage. One crisp morning, she visited the town's small library, a quaint building filled with dusty tomes and forgotten stories. The librarian, an elderly woman named Agnes, had known Alara since childhood. With a knowing smile, she handed Alara a weathered book titled The Spirits of Our Ancestors. "This belonged to your great-grandmother," Agnes said, her voice a soft murmur. "She was a powerful healer, just like you." Alara took the book home, her heart racing with anticipation. As she flipped through the pages, she discovered rituals, stories, and teachings that resonated deeply within her. Each word felt like a thread connecting her to the past, illuminating the path she was destined to walk. The book spoke of the importance of honoring the elements, earth, air, fire, and water, as well as the spirits that resided within each. Alara felt a calling to incorporate these teachings into her practice, to deepen her connection to the spirit world. That evening, she decided to perform a ritual in her backyard, a sacred space filled with wildflowers and the gentle hum of nature. As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the landscape, Alara gathered items that represented the elements: a small bowl of earth, a feather for air, a candle for fire, and a bowl of water. She arranged them in a circle, creating a sacred altar. With a deep breath, Alara closed her eyes and centered herself. "I honor the spirits of my ancestors," she began, her voice steady and clear. "I invite their wisdom and guidance into my life." As she spoke, she felt the energy shift around her, the air thick with anticipation. The whispers of her guardians grew louder, wrapping around her like a warm embrace. As she lit the candle, the flickering flame danced in the twilight, casting shadows that seemed to come alive. Alara felt a rush of energy surge through her, connection to the spirits that transcended time and space. She opened her heart, allowing the messages of her ancestors to flow through her. Visions of her great-grandmother appeared, her spirit radiant and wise, guiding Alara through the ritual. "Remember, dear one," her great-grandmother's voice echoed in Alara's mind, "the power of healing lies within you. Trust in your intuition, and the spirits will always guide you." With each element she honored, Alara felt her connection to the spirit world deepen. The earth beneath her feet grounded her, the air filled her lungs with clarity, the water washed away her doubts, and the fire ignited her passion. As the last rays of sunlight faded, she opened her eyes, feeling a profound sense of peace and purpose. In the following days, Alara integrated the teachings from her great-grandmother's book into her sessions. She began to incorporate elemental healing into her practice, inviting her clients to participate in rituals that honored their own connections to the spirit world. Families gathered in her backyard, sharing stories and experiences, creating a tapestry of healing that resonated throughout Willow Creek. One afternoon, a man named Thomas came to her seeking guidance. He had recently lost his father, and the weight of his grief felt insurmountable. Alara invited him to join her in a ritual, explaining how honoring the elements could help him connect with his father's spirit. Thomas hesitated, unsure of what to expect, but the warmth in Alara's eyes reassured him. As they stood in the circle, Alara guided Thomas through the process, encouraging him to share his memories of his father. With each word, the air around them shimmered, and Alara felt the presence of Thomas's father drawing near. "He wants you to know he's proud of you," she relayed, her voice steady. "He's watching over you, guiding you through this difficult time." Tears streamed down Thomas's face, but amidst his sorrow, a sense of relief washed over him. Alara encouraged him to light a candle in honor of his father, and as the flame flickered to life, she felt the energy shift once more. "Your father is here with us," she whispered, closing her eyes to connect with the spirit world. "He wants you to release your pain and embrace the love he has for you." In that sacred moment, Thomas felt a warmth envelop him, a gentle reminder that he was never truly alone. The ritual became a turning point for him, a pathway to healing that allowed him to honor his father's memory while also embracing his own journey forward. As the weeks passed, Alara's backyard transformed into a sanctuary for healing and connection. Word spread throughout Willow Creek about her unique approach, and soon, people from neighboring towns began to seek her out. Each session was a blend of her great-grandmother's teachings and her own intuitive gifts, creating a space where grief could be acknowledged and healing could flourish. One afternoon, as Alara prepared for another ritual, she noticed a woman standing hesitantly at the edge of her garden. The woman had an air of sadness about her, her eyes clouded with unspoken sorrow. Alara approached her, offering a warm smile. "Welcome, I'm Alara. How can I help you today?" The woman stepped closer, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'm Clara. I've lost my sister, and I feel so lost without her. I've heard you can help." Alara nodded, her heart aching for Clara. "You're not alone. Many find comfort in honoring their loved ones through ritual. Would you like to join me in a ceremony?" Clara hesitated, but the sincerity in Alara's gaze encouraged her to take a step forward. "Yes, I'd like that." As they prepared for the ritual, Alara guided Clara to gather items that represented her sister, perhaps a piece of jewelry or a favorite flower. Clara chose a delicate silver bracelet that had belonged to her sister, its surface catching the light as she held it tightly in her hands. They arranged the altar together, incorporating the elements as Alara had done in her previous rituals. The air was thick with anticipation, and Alara could sense Clara's nervous energy. "It's okay to feel vulnerable," Alara reassured her. "This space is safe, and we're here to honor your sister's spirit." As they lit the candle, Alara spoke softly, inviting Clara to share her memories. "What do you miss most about her?" she asked gently. Clara's voice trembled as she began to recount stories of laughter, shared dreams, and the bond they had forged over the years. With each word, Alara felt the presence of Clara's sister draw near, the energy in the air shifting as the connection deepened. "Your sister wants you to know she's always with you," Alara said. Her eyes closed as she focused on the spirit's presence. "She sees your pain, but she also sees your strength. She wants you to embrace life and carry her memory forward." Tears streamed down Clara's face as she listened, the weight of her grief beginning to lift. "I just wish I could tell her how much I love her," she whispered, her voice breaking. "Then let's do that together," Alara suggested. "Speak to her, and let your heart guide you." Clara took a deep breath, her hands trembling as she held the bracelet. "I love you, Sarah. I miss you every day." "I wish you were here with me," she said, her voice steadying as she spoke from the depths of her heart. As she finished, Alara felt a surge of energy, the air crackling with the presence of Clara's sister. "She hears you," Alara assured her. "Light this candle in her honor, and know that your love transcends even the boundaries of life and death." With trembling hands, Clara lit the candle, and as the flame flickered to life, a sense of warmth enveloped them both. The garden seemed to come alive with whispers of the past, the rustling leaves echoing the love that bound them together. In that moment, Clara felt a profound sense of peace wash over her. The ritual had opened a channel of communication, allowing her to connect with her sister's spirit in a way she had never thought possible. "Thank you," she said, her voice filled with gratitude. "I feel her presence. I feel lighter." Alara smiled, her heart swelling with joy for Clara. "You've taken a brave step today. Remember, your sister's love is always with you. Carry her spirit in your heart and allow it to guide you." As Clara left, a newfound lightness in her step, Alara felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Each session brought her closer to understanding her gift and the legacy of her ancestors. The rituals were not just about connecting with spirits. They were about healing, love, and the resilience of the human spirit. Days turned into weeks, and the garden became a vibrant hub of healing energy. Families gathered, sharing stories and experiences, each ritual weaving a tapestry of connection that spanned generations. Alara found herself not only guiding others, but also learning from their journeys, each person adding to the rich fabric of her own understanding. One evening, as Alara sat in her garden, reflecting on the transformations she had witnessed, she felt a familiar presence beside her. It was her great-grandmother, her spirit radiant and wise. "You have embraced your calling, dear one," her great-grandmother's voice echoed softly in Alara's mind, a soothing balm to her soul. "You are not just a healer. You are a bridge between worlds, a keeper of stories and memories." Alara closed her eyes, allowing the warmth of her great-grandmother's spirit to envelop her. I feel their pain, their joy, and their love, she whispered, her heart swelling with gratitude. But sometimes I wonder if I am doing enough. Am I truly honoring our ancestors? You are doing more than enough, her great-grandmother reassured her, the gentle rustle of leaves accompanying her words. You are igniting a spark in those who come to you, helping them to remember that love transcends even the deepest sorrow. Your rituals are a testament to the strength of our lineage. As the stars began to twinkle overhead, Alara felt a surge of inspiration. I want to create a space for others to learn about our traditions, to connect with their own ancestors, she said, her voice filled with determination. A place where the community can gather and share their stories. Her great-grandmother smiled, a radiant light illuminating the garden. That is a beautiful vision, dear one. The wisdom of our ancestors is a gift meant to be shared. Start small, invite those who have found healing through you, and let the circle grow. Ilara's heart raced at the thought. She envisioned a gathering under the full moon, a night filled with stories, rituals, and the shared energy of the community. I will do it, she declared, her resolve firm. I will honor our ancestors and create a space for connection and healing. In the following days, Ilara began to prepare for the gathering. She reached out to those she had helped, inviting them to join her for an evening of remembrance and celebration. As the day approached, excitement buzzed in the air, a palpable energy that seemed to dance around her. On the night of the gathering, the moon hung low in the sky, casting a silvery glow over the garden. Ilara had set up a large circle of cushions and blankets, adorned with flowers and candles that flickered softly in the night. The air was fragrant with the scent of lavender and sage, inviting all who entered to feel at home. One by one, her guests arrived, each carrying their own stories and memories. Clara was among them, her eyes shining with newfound hope. I brought something for the altar, she said, holding out a small framed photograph of her sister. I want to honor her tonight. Ilara smiled, her heart swelling with pride for Clara's courage. That's perfect. We'll create a space where all our loved ones can be remembered. As the circle filled, Ilara welcomed everyone with open arms, her voice steady and warm. Thank you for being here tonight. We gather to honor our ancestors, to share our stories, and to connect with the love that binds us all. Let us create a sacred space where healing can flourish. With that, Ilara began the ritual, inviting each person to share a memory of their loved one. Laughter mingled with tears as stories unfolded, each one a thread in the tapestry of their collective experience. Ilara felt the energy shift, the air thick with the presence of spirits, each one drawn to the love and remembrance being shared. As they lit candles in honor of their loved ones, Ilara guided them through a meditation, encouraging everyone to visualize their ancestors standing beside them, offering support and love. The garden seemed to come alive, the whispers of the past echoing in the rustling leaves and the gentle breeze. Your ancestors are proud of you, Ilara whispered, her voice a soothing balm. They walk with you, guiding you through your journey. Embrace their love and let it fill your heart. As the night deepened, the gathering transformed into a celebration of life and connection. Music filled the air, laughter echoed through the garden, and the bonds of community grew stronger. Ilara felt a profound sense of fulfillment, knowing that she was not only honoring her ancestors but also creating a legacy for future generations. In the days that followed, the gathering became a monthly tradition, each one growing in attendance and energy. People from all walks of life came together, sharing their stories, their grief, and their joy. Ilara found herself not only guiding rituals, but also learning from the resilience of those around her. One evening, as she prepared for another gathering, she felt a familiar presence beside her. It was her great-grandmother once more, her spirit radiant and proud. You have created a beautiful community, dear one, she said, her voice a melodic whisper. You are a beacon of light, guiding others to heal and remember. Ilara smiled, her heart swelling with gratitude. I couldn't have done it without your guidance. Your wisdom has been my compass. Trust in your intuition and continue to honor the legacy of our ancestors, her great-grandmother urged, her voice like a gentle breeze rustling through the leaves. The spirits are always with you, guiding your path. With renewed determination, Ilara embraced her role as a healer and a connector of souls. Each gathering became a sacred ritual, a celebration of love that transcended time and space. The community thrived, and the garden transformed into a sanctuary where grief was acknowledged and healing was nurtured. As the seasons changed, so did the energy of the gatherings. Autumn brought with it a sense of reflection, and Ilara decided to dedicate one evening to honoring those who had passed during the year. She called it the Night of Remembrance, a time for the community to come together and share their losses, their memories, and their hopes for the future. The night arrived, and Ilara prepared the garden with care. She adorned the altar with photographs, flowers, and mementos brought by the attendees. Candles flickered softly, casting a warm glow that danced in the cool night air. The scent of cinnamon and nutmeg filled the space, evoking the essence of the season. As the guests arrived, Ilara welcomed each one with a warm embrace, her heart swelling with gratitude for the connections that had blossomed within her community. Clara was there, along with Thomas and others who had found solace in their shared experiences. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation and love. Once everyone was settled in the circle, Ilara began the evening with a grounding meditation, inviting everyone to connect with their breath and the earth beneath them. "Tonight, we honor our loved ones who have crossed over," she said, her voice steady and soothing. "Let us create a space where their spirits can join us, where we can share our memories and celebrate their lives." As the meditation concluded, Ilara invited each person to share a story or a memory of their loved one. One by one, voices rose in the cool night air, weaving a tapestry of love and remembrance. Laughter mingled with tears, and the garden seemed to pulse with the energy of the spirits present. When it was Clara's turn, she stood, holding the small framed photograph of her sister. "Sarah was my best friend and my biggest supporter," she began, her voice trembling with emotion. "I miss her every day, but I know she's here with us tonight." As she spoke, the candle flames flickered, and Ilara felt the unmistakable presence of Sarah's spirit enveloping the space. "Your sister is so proud of you, Clara," Ilara whispered, her heart swelling with compassion. "She is here, celebrating with you." Clara smiled through her tears, the warmth of her sister's love wrapping around her like a comforting embrace. "I love you, Sarah," she said, her voice steadying as she spoke from her heart. "Thank you for always being my guiding light." The gathering continued, each person sharing their stories, their grief, and their love. As the night deepened, Ilara felt a surge of energy as the spirits of their loved ones joined in the circle. The air shimmered with a palpable presence, and Ilara guided everyone through a ritual of lighting candles in honor of their departed. "Let us light these candles as a symbol of our love and remembrance," she said, her voice resonating with the collective energy of the group. "As the flames flicker, may they carry our messages of love to those we cherish." As the candles were lit, Ilara felt the garden come alive, the whispers of the past echoing in the rustling leaves. She closed her eyes, connecting with the spirit world, and felt the love of the ancestors flowing through her. "Your loved ones are here with you," she assured the group. "They feel your love, and they are guiding you on your journey." The night culminated in a moment of silence, a sacred pause where everyone could feel the presence of their loved ones. Ilara encouraged them to visualize their ancestors standing beside them, offering support and love. The garden was filled with a profound sense of peace, a reminder that love transcends even the deepest sorrow. As the gathering came to a close, Ilara felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She had created a space where healing could flourish, where the community could come together to honor their loved ones and support one another. The bonds forged in that garden were unbreakable, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. In the weeks that followed, the Night of Remembrance became an annual tradition, drawing more people from Willow Creek and beyond. Ilara's garden became a sanctuary, a place where stories were shared and healing was nurtured. She continued to honor her great-grandmother's teachings, integrating elemental healing into each gathering, allowing the natural world to guide and support their journeys. One evening, as Ilara sat in her garden, reflecting on the transformations she had witnessed, she felt the familiar presence of her great-grandmother beside her. The air shimmered with warmth, and Alara closed her eyes, allowing the gentle energy to envelop her. "You have done well, my dear," her great-grandmother's voice whispered, like a soothing melody carried on the wind. "You have honored our legacy and created a safe haven for those in need." Alara opened her eyes, her heart swelling with gratitude. "I couldn't have done it without your guidance," she replied, feeling the weight of her ancestors' wisdom behind her. "The community has grown stronger, and the garden has become a place of healing and remembrance. But I feel there is still more to do." Her great-grandmother smiled, the twinkle in her eye reminiscent of the stars above. "Indeed, there is always more to do. But remember, healing is a journey, not a destination. You must continue to nurture the connections you have forged and remain open to the lessons that the earth and the spirits offer." Inspired by her great-grandmother's words, Alara decided to expand the gatherings. She envisioned a series of workshops that would not only honor the departed, but also teach the community about the healing properties of plants, the rhythms of nature, and the importance of self-care. She wanted to empower others to become healers in their own right, fostering a sense of interconnectedness that would ripple through generations. With renewed purpose, Alara set to work, planning the first workshop. Whispers of the Earth, Healing Through Nature. She invited local herbalists, artists, and storytellers to join her, creating a rich tapestry of knowledge and experience. The garden buzzed with excitement as word spread, and soon people from neighboring villages expressed their desire to participate. On the day of the workshop, the sun shone brightly, casting a golden hue over the garden. Alara welcomed the participants with open arms, her spirit soaring as she saw familiar faces and new ones alike. The air was fragrant with the scent of blooming flowers, and the sound of laughter filled the space. Alara began the day with a grounding exercise, encouraging everyone to connect with the earth beneath them. "Nature is our greatest teacher," she said, her voice resonating with warmth. "Let us open our hearts and minds to the wisdom it offers." Throughout the day, participants engaged in various activities, crafting herbal remedies, painting their emotions onto canvas, and sharing stories of their own journeys. Alara moved among them, offering guidance and encouragement, feeling the energy of the garden pulse with life. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the gathering, Alara invited everyone to share their experiences. One by one, they spoke of the healing they had found, the connections they had made, and the love that had blossomed in the garden. Clara, now a regular participant, stood up to share her journey. "Since the night of remembrance, I have felt a shift within me," she said, her voice steady and filled with emotion. "I've learned to embrace my grief and honor Sarah's memory in ways I never thought possible. This garden has become a part of my healing, and I am so grateful for all of you." Alara's heart swelled with pride as she listened to her community share their stories. She realized that the garden had become a living entity, a reflection of their collective love and resilience. It was a sanctuary where healing flourished and the bonds of connection grew deeper. As the workshop came to a close, Alara felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her. She had created a space where people could come together, share their stories, and learn from one another. The garden was no longer just her sanctuary, it was a community haven, a place where love, healing, and remembrance intertwined. In the following months, Alara continued to host workshops, each one more vibrant than the last. The garden flourished, and so did the community. They shared not only their grief, but also their joys, celebrating life as a collective tapestry woven from the threads of their experiences. One evening, as Alara sat beneath the stars, she felt her great-grandmother's presence once more. "You have created a legacy of your own, my dear," she whispered, her voice a gentle caress. "You have honored the past while embracing the future. Trust in your journey and continue to let love guide you." With a heart full of gratitude and purpose, Alara closed her eyes and breathed deeply, feeling the whispers of her ancestors and the love of her community surrounding her. She knew that the garden would continue to thrive, a sanctuary for all who sought healing, connection, and the timeless embrace of love.